This is Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 system with Adam Vincent Gilmer. I'm your host, Gene Velitis, and welcome to episode number 9. You know, you may be binge listening, or if you're on Adam's website, you might be binge watching us here, or maybe you're joining us every week. However you watch it, welcome to Living Your Life Well Planned once again. And on episode number 9 today, we're going to be talking about how to start your day. And on today's show, that's something that sounds really simple, but I'm going to tell you, it does take a little bit of work. And as always, Adam demands that you do this. No, he doesn't just ask, he actually demands. Now, it might be hard at first, but it'll become part of your daily routine. It has been for me for years and years and years. And just like me, if you want to get the most out of these free podcasts on Spotify and iTunes, and right here on Adam's website, make sure you order your daily planner and check out the rest of the website at www.8020365.com. Now, you might be saying, and we've mentioned this in previous podcasts, do I really need the daily planner? Well, the answer is yes. It's why highways have road signs. It's why we use GPS to get directions from point A to point B. And you'll want to have the book because it's the genesis of the entire course. So get it. It's inexpensive, and you'll be able to follow along on these free podcasts, like I said, on Spotify and iTunes. And where else can you get free podcasts? This is really a deal. Okay, Adam, we're going to be talking about how to start your day here on episode number 9. But just to review, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts and recordings here on your website, you demand that people do these daily habits. And before we move on to the big 3 steps of how to start your day, which is purpose, planning, and performing, why do you demand, not just ask nicely, that people do these things?
Well, Gene, to be very, very frank, and good morning, everybody, or good evening, wherever you're listening around the world. The reason I demand is because most people don't like to do stuff, okay? They buy something and they just don't have the mental capacity to say, okay, let me stick with it. So by me demanding that people do it, what ends up happening is that it's a forceful energy that pushes you down this tunnel, and you stay focused on actually getting the right things done and having the 7 daily habits work for you. And when they work for you, your life changes.
Yeah, and you really do get your life wheel in balance. And as we've mentioned in previous podcasts, if one of those sections of the wheel happens, it's like having a flat tire. You know, the car is not going to be going down that highway. Another reason why you need the daily planner, and you have to keep everything in balance. So here we are, episode number 6. The title is How to Start Your Day. You have 3 big steps: purpose, planning, and performing. So why don't we make this really easy? You wake up, you get out of bed, what do you do?
Grab a cup of coffee, especially when you had, if you had a night like I had last night. And just so everybody knows, full disclosure, you know, we just canceled all of our trips in all these countries around the world because of this coronavirus going around. And it's not because we think we're going to get it. It's because I don't want to be in quarantine when I try and get back in to the United States. I don't feel like being in 2 weeks in quarantine at an air base here in California with 350 people on a plane that I don't know. Now, it might be good for my prospecting, but it's not good for my family life. But getting back to getting your purpose read, getting up in the morning, getting planned and actually going through the planner. What's really important is in the previous episodes, we talked about how to find your purpose, right?
Yes.
And once you have your purpose done, so when I get up in the morning, and just so everybody knows, I haven't done this morning. I'm going to do it live with you right now.
Right. Excellent.
If you're listening on, as I said, I had an incredible night last night with the family. Now that I'm back home, not traveling. So what I do is I open up my daily planner, and I think this is coming in on the screen. It is now. Okay. And what I do is I turn to my purpose statement. Now, I put my purpose statement in place and I have it signed. It's actually a commitment, Gene, to where my subconscious and conscious come together. And these, I've done this years and years and years and years and years, and I've refined it over many, many years. So if your purpose is brand new, it might be a little awkward and clunky at the beginning if you're doing it for the very, very, very first time. Mm-hmm. But as you get more proficient and you get over it and you start to do it every single day, great things start to happen. So let me give everybody an idea when my purpose statement says. This statement stands for what life means to me. By me writing this in this manner, I, Adam Vincent Gill, make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. The life that I have for myself, I'm envisioning for myself. As the new Adam begins to unfold and grow, I'll read my purpose statement daily to myself. These words will transfer into great feelings, and the message will carry into all areas of my life. What does that mean? That's the 6 areas: being, brain, body, time, people, and money.
Mm-hmm.
I said, first, I'll read my purpose statement when I arise each morning. Then I'll read my purpose statement right after I have partaken of my midday meal. And then last, I read my purpose statement before I retire each evening. And this is when I actually read it out loud. So normally I'm not reading it out loud, but we're doing it live right now so everybody understands. The most important people in my life are my family and close friends. Never will I act in a harsh manner towards them. Instead, I will hold my tongue, bite your tongue. And this will give me time to think and reflect before I respond and maybe blow up a relationship. I have non-selfish pride, self-confidence, as well as I am kind to my fellow men. I have all that's necessary to be the most successful person of my dreams, and to help me achieve my life's purpose, I will follow these steps. Number 1, each day I begin a new life. God's given me a day, and for this I'm very, very grateful. Number 2, I will show others love and respect. My teams make my dreams work. And, I'm in the direct sales industry. And what that means is that all the people that are in my sales organization literally afford me to have the lifestyle that I have, sitting here from my home talking to all of you live today. I will persist and I will succeed. I find reasons to become more successful every single day. I am nature's greatest miracle. By the way, all of you are, because, you've gone through the process of actually being a conscious being. You're birthed, you're given this incredible life. And it says here, there's no one like me. I'm made in God's image. Number 5, I will live each day as if it was my last. And that means that you've got to push yourself every single day, because we never know when the last second of life is going to be happening. Number 7, I am worthy of my goals and dreams. I am deserving. Number 8, I will and can do it because I have a real living purpose. I have passion and I like to lead people. Number 9, I will act on my goals and dreams now. I'm taking action right this second. And this is what's happening in my mind all day long.
Right.
I said, number 10, success will come to me always because of my purpose, and others will become successful by my success. I succeed when my team succeed. When I follow through on the statement, failure is not only possible, it's the process to future progress. I'm following through on my statement, and I've signed it, Adam Vincent Gilmer. So, Gene, that's what I do first thing in the morning. Is I have my cup of coffee, and I'm basically going over this. Now, in my iPhone, I have a reminder alarm that goes off, and my purpose jumps up on my iPhone screen so I can actually read it. And the beautiful thing is, Gene, when I travel around the world, no matter what country I am in, my purpose statement jumps up on my phone, and I'm actually able to read it to myself wherever I am, at the airport, on the plane, in another hotel room somewhere else, or catching a train, going to an event. It pops up, and mine goes off every single morning at 6:45 a.m. And that's how I begin my day, Gene.
Mm-hmm. Now, I remember you and I were doing a course once, and I remember a gentleman came up to you and he said, wow, he goes, I've got my purpose statement down, but I don't know if I can do it every single day. And I remember you saying to him, do you take a shower every morning before you go to work? And he said, well, of course. And you said, well, guess what? Your purpose statement is probably more important than that shower. So, maybe you have to memorize it and say it in the shower and combine the two. And the guy laughed, and he really understood the importance of that. And what I found after graduating from your course years ago, and what I do with my purpose statement is, the repetition. It's difficult at first. I think we can both admit it. But after 30 days, if you're in the shower and you're not saying your purpose statement, or if you get distracted, I know I'll get a phone call and I'll say to somebody, I'm going to have to call you back because I've got something really, really urgent on my plate right now. I don't tell them it's my purpose statement because that's my own personal thing. But it gets so ingrained in your system, and it becomes such a great part of your day, that People cannot interrupt your purpose time, either morning, noon, or before you go to bed. And I love the idea of reading it out loud before you go to bed, because to me, my suggestion is turn off the news. Don't watch the 11 o'clock news. Say your purpose statement. You're going to sleep better. And when you wake up in the morning, bang, you just carry on. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. In fact, there's scientific studies that show that a person who's actually pre-programming their mind, doing the pre-work, allows them to become champions in life. And what I mean by that to everybody, it's very easy not to do any of this stuff, okay? But
Yes.
it's also very easy to do it. And that mental switch that goes on, Gene, from a person saying to themselves, hey, my life, my future is worth it. I'm going to instill these new habits into my life. That's a huge, as I said, it's literally that simple, right? It's that easy to do. That's the deal. If we can just turn the key from the off to the on switch in the brain, which is a little habit to learn, and you do your habit, you do your purpose 3 times a day, morning, afternoon after your midday meal, and then right before you go to bed at night, you're pre-programming and giving yourself the pre-work so that when you wake up in the morning, you're like, boom, okay, let's go and get my day started or your day started. And Gene, we're talking about leading people to live their dream. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if your dream's worth it, isn't it worth it just changing a few and having a few little keys to turn? And this is one of the and here's the great thing. Once you start this habit, it'll lead to you planning and performing and actually moving you towards your goals and dreams versus pulling you away from your goals and dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. And language is so important when you're reading your purpose statement. Again, I go back to you and I on the road. A lot of people, they focus on money right away when they get involved, and they would like to have more money coming in and they don't want debt. And we had people reading out their purpose statement, and a lot of people were saying, well, one of my purposes is to get out of debt. And you and I both said, whoa, 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 don't even use the word debt. And we came up with this really cool phrase: abundance flows into my life with ease. And again, language, that sounds so much more inviting, rather than even having the word debt. It sends a negative. But abundance flows into my life with ease. Could you imagine if parents watching this for the very first time, instead of that old parental phrase, well, Billy, money doesn't grow on trees, could you imagine if parents started teaching their kids that abundance flows into their life with ease before they even learn how to read? I mean, we could change an entire generation just with that one phrase.
Absolutely. And when you talk about language, it's important because your brain is going to give you what you're putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also have a phrase and I say, if you show me your friends, I will show you your future. Okay.
Yes.
And with this, it's all the same stuff. It's not that difficult to change a couple of little things. What is difficult is not doing it, because
Right.
because Gene, a lot of people won't change their language. A lot of people would rather live with the regret, and it finally builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up year after year after year. And people get frustrated. They do silly things, hurt themselves. You know why? Not because they couldn't do these little daily habits. It's because they refused to do them because they were too easy to do.
Right.
Versus, like you said, one of my daily affirmations: I attract to my reality like-minded beings who will partner with me to help change the world, and together we will generate multiple 6, 7, and 9-figure incomes. Now, doesn't that sound better than say I'm getting rich quick?
Yeah.
Okay. The words of the statement are inviting in, like you said, abundance flows into my life. Correct. Now you could say this is easy not to do. Yeah, it is. It is easy not to do. But like you started this segment, the reasons why I demand that you do it is because I already know that when you start doing it, you're going to move your life towards actually attracting and becoming what you really want in life.
Exactly. Okay, here on episode 9, we're talking about how to start your day. Your purpose statement is one of the three big steps. The other
Correct.
two, let's move on to the other two of the three big steps: planning and performing. So we've read our purpose statement. We're on track for the day. What do I have to do in my planning stage?
Okay, so as you can see on the screen overhead, I also have my 5-year bottom line. So when I open up my planner and I'm doing this stuff, I'm casually scanning over the 60 month bottom lines that are these are future results I've already written down, and I'm just scanning over them because they're always running in my mind anyway. And that's the 5-year bottom lines. And then I turn to the month's bottom lines, and these are one of the steps out of the 60. So the 60 steps, 60 months, 5-year bottom lines. This is monthly bottom lines, and these are small little things that I can do, you can do, anybody can do, you folks listening, that moves you in the direction of what you were really planning for your life from the 5-year plan. And then what I do is I actually turn to the daily sheets. Now this, if you're looking at my planner, this was for the month of January. We, of course, February, I know we're in March, but I'm walking everybody through stuff. You can
Right.
see that my planner is used, okay? The reason why I want the planner used, I think that's on the screen. The reason why I want that planner used is because this tells me that I'm doing stuff. So I'm actually going to turn to today, and that's going to be in the month of March. We're on the 7th. We're actually here shooting this here on the 8th, and it actually shows you all the events and things I have going. I have in place, and I have a nice little piece over here that says live recording for Sunday morning. Guess what we're doing? We're there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to actually turn to. I'm going to turn to. That's my airline ticket. I came back from Utah the other day. I'm actually going to turn to today, which is Sunday. And as I open up my planner for the Sunday, the 8th, now it can be whatever day you're on. If you're doing it with us right now, this is where we are in present time.
Right.
Obviously, I'm watching this as a recording, so whatever the date is, I also make a mental note of the day that I'm on. And then right here it says, and I'll circle this for everybody here, I'll circle this in red for today. It says today's plan, okay? And at the very top it says prepare, okay? And then at the bottom it says preview. And as Gene just talked about, I am now going to plan my day. So really fast, I've already read my purpose. I tick that off. I'm going to do my planning. Okay, so, as I go through my day, I may have things to do, but normally, normally every single day, I'm up at about 6:30. So I'm going to say, wake up. I'm going to put a little box there. And then I'm going to say, if it's today's Sunday and we're doing it, but on a normal day, I'll be like, okay, I'd usually have a breakfast meeting, or I would have to go to the gym. And what I would do is, if I'm at home, I would take my son to school. That's at 8 a.m. Okay, so I take AJ to school. And then at 8:15, 8:30, I'm going to say, go to the gym. Now, we've already discussed in a previous episode the wonderful habit of having nutrition, rest, gym, and exercise. In
Right.
some cases, like sorry, Gene. In some cases, like yesterday, I didn't work out. What I did was I took the family, put a little daughter in the running stroller. Jessica, my wife, got dressed, and we actually and AJ, and we walked for 5 miles together as a family. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and lifting weights, but the point is that I'm planning that in here. Okay, I'm going to say okay, and I usually start my day at 10 a.m. So I'm going to give you a chance to respond here, Gene, because I know this thing's going to remind me as we're going along. I'm going to say start your day. And if I have whatever appointments, I would write them in actually through the day. So welcome to my business phone. And what happens here is that now I've done that. I'm going to mark off that I've done my planning. And just the last little step here really quick, it says take one preview. And you'll notice at the bottom of the planner, it says preview, right? So I'm literally going to close my eyes for a second. I have previewed my day. In other words, I've mentally given my mind permission to have the daily plan actually be performed right before I go and perform it. So that means I've done my planning, I've done read my purpose statement, I've done my take one preview, and I actually mark off in section B on the on the left-hand side of the page that I've got 2 points. And Gene, that fast, I've already gotten 2 points out of my total of 10 for the day. which is like a 20% item, 2 out of 10, right? 20%. And those are the most important things for you to do starting your day every day. I've mentally prepared. I've planned. I've given myself the mental permission to follow through. And now I'm actually going to go and do the actual work.
Right. Now, before we get to performing, here's what I really like about this. And, I mean, you're the inventor of this. I'm a student, so I try to share some perspective as a student to people who are watching us on the website, on the video, or listening to the podcast, is at the end of the day, when I score my day, I have self-accountability. And the other thing that I really like, and people will discover this when they get their daily planner and they start doing this as a habit every single day. I love going back like about 3 months and just flipping through the book. And
Right.
it's like I say to myself, wow, I have really
Good stuff.
accomplished a lot here. And I was accountable to myself every single day. And you know what? You can't cheat yourself. So when you go to score at the end of the day and you're accountable to only yourself, if you put all this stuff down and you didn't do a lot of it, well, guess what? There's only one person to blame, and that's the person you're looking in the mirror as you're brushing your teeth before you go to bed. So this exercise alone with the purpose and the planning, it really, well, it's like why we tell people to order the daily planner. It gives your life direction.
Absolutely. What's really important, Gene, is that look, to the listener listening, you don't have to do this. It's $1 a day. That's what we charge for the system. It's not expensive. You can buy it on the website. It's simple to do. It's in multiple different languages. You get 4 planners for the entire year, all broken up into 90 days at a time. And it's a high performance planner, Gene. Okay. And if you ask people who are performing at a high level of life, they usually have a high level of income. And for those folks that say that they've heard this, money doesn't buy happiness. Okay, go and ask the poor guy if he wants to be rich. Okay, because they do. Okay, they would like to be able to pay bills, not be homeless, right? Or have a better lifestyle. These little habits is what I've learned and done over the years that just make me a high performance individual. And I'm not saying that you have to do exactly what I'm doing, but I'm saying that you have to do the building blocks of the 7 habits. You have to do your fair thing first. And for example, I know we're on the screen, and I'm sorry, Gene, I know you're going to bring something up here in a second, but I'm going to go over to where it says today's tasks. This is me actually performing now, okay? Today's task. And I'm going to write down here, go to the gym. Now, after after this podcast and the stuff that we do this morning, I will plan time to go to the gym or go for another walk, get some exercise in. Then I'm going to go to my 3 things, which are really important. So I've done my favorite thing first. I planned it. And by the way, it's not first things first. We talked about this in a previous episode. Yep. It's fear things first. Now, I will tell everybody because I like being authentic. We had an incredible neighborhood party last night. Okay. I've got friends that stayed over. I know the time went forward, and I called Gene this morning. I was like, man, and this was at like 9:30 in the morning. I was like, Gene, just so you know, just getting up. I told you all the great fun and events we're having last night. And it doesn't mean that you can't party. What it means is, for everybody listening, is that I just want to be authentic with the audience so that I haven't worked out this morning, but I'm planning it. And do I really feel like doing it after the fun we had last night? No, I don't.
Does.
No, but you know what? I would feel not authentic and genuine by not connecting with the audience and letting you know that's my plan. So I'll get out of the jacket and shirt and what have you. I'll go put on my stuff and I'll go down to the gym. The next thing I do in performing now is doing something.
We're into. I just want to say we're into step number 3 here, which is performing, which is essentially incorporating your purpose with your planning. And now we're, as they say in the old commercials, just do it.
Yeah, the Nike stuff. Before they hit us up with an infringement thing. Anyway, here's my point. Here's my point, though. I've written it down. It's going to happen. And when it goes into either a fear thing first or something for myself, others in work, the bottom lines for the day, those things, and I'm going to do this here in a second, those things have to be done by the end of today. So let me just go through the three things that I'm going to do for myself. So self is I'm going to say, have a great breakfast. Okay. Others, show love and respect, be authentic. Okay. And work, perform at 100%, deliver, mean it. Okay, so those are the things I just written down. So now I can go over to my bottom lines for the day. And I've said, okay, here's what I'm going to be doing today. And I can go down and say, I'm performing something for myself. I'm doing something for others, and I'm going to work. And that's another 3 points. I haven't worked out yet, but for the sake of this podcast and video cast, I'm going to mark it off. I'm going to do this today. And that's going to just show you how fast I'm adding up my points to get a total of 10 out of the day. So far, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 out of 10. We're about 25 minutes into this podcast for people this morning. I think it was something like that, whatever it is. And here's what I've done already. I'm already operating and planned and performing. If I wasn't doing this podcast, I'd actually be doing this stuff, right? But I'm showing what I'm doing so I can be authentic and genuine. And I'm already operating at 60% of a total of out of 100 or 10 points for the day. I've already done 6 of the things that are scoring me for the day. Why is this important, Gene? Because like you said, as you review, one of the other steps is reviewing. We'll talk about that a little later on, but you can now see that I'm doing the stuff that high performance people do. Okay. And anybody can be a high performer. You just because you don't have maybe you've only got a high school education, maybe you have a college education, hell, maybe you're a doctor, attorney, and you're at the top of your game, but you want to be a few percent better. These are the things that done every single day, people will start to notice what is going on in your life.
Absolutely.
And you can very easily see that these are the things that move you towards your goals versus pulling you away. Because, Gene, this is also easy not to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And, that's another thing we've talked about. You always hear people every day saying, I'm busy, I'm really busy. And you and I both agree on this one. If it was difficult to be busy, nobody would be busy. So here's the other thing, too, that I think people should pick up on the podcast or the video, wherever you're watching or listening to it today. This may seem like a lot of work, but trust me, as I know, when you incorporate this into your life and it becomes a habit, on the day that you get a little lazy to start doing all of this, you really miss it. And when it becomes habit, it's easy to do. And you would never, ever start your day without doing this. So very quickly, again, episode 9 has been how to start your day. We've gone through purpose planning and performing. We're doing it now. Very quickly, before you read your purpose statement, before you go to bed at night, you have to score your day. So exactly what steps do you follow to score your day before you read your purpose? And then it's lights out.
Exactly. And in their planning, for the folks that are following along, when you get your planner, you'll notice on the left side it says prepare, bottom side of the left side it says preview. And the reason why the planner is laid out this way in 2 forms, Gene, just this is science for everybody. Sorry, this is neurons firing. So I'm going to give you some ahas for the day so you can really have an amazing day as you're performing. The left-hand side of the planner, like the left-hand side of our brains, is where the organization is taking place. We're organizing, we're lining things up, we're getting specific, okay? The right-hand side of the planner is for performing, like you're an artist walking on the stage of life. And in fact, I know people are watching the podcast or watching the video or listening to the podcast. The right-hand side is for performing. The right-hand side of your brain is where love lives. It's where passion is. It's where the artist comes out. And the performance side of the planner, if you're following along, on the right-hand side, number 3 is perform. And at the very, very bottom, it says review. So in the morning, you're preparing, you're previewing, then you're performing. And at the very end, and we'll get to this, but at the very end, there's review. Now, this is the plan for the day. Left-hand side working, right-hand side working. I've already scored up to 6. I'm attempting to get a 10 every single day. So what that literally means to everybody listening, I love to see how close to a 10 I can get
Me too.
every single day.
It's a great personal challenge. Me too. So
Mm.
here's how we can wrap up episode number 9 to give you a classic example. Because a lot of times people will say, well, does this actually work? If it wasn't for how to start your day, this episode number 9, would have never happened. Because Adam
Correct.
and I went through the whole thing. I had my purpose. I planned this out. We're performing right now. We're going to review this, after we stop recording, and we'll say, was it a good episode? Did we achieve everything that we wanted to do? So we've done episode number 9 just to do episode number 9, and we've simply told you what to do. So it becomes a habit. It becomes easy. It becomes a part of your day. And this, ladies and gentlemen, on episode number 9 is how to start your day. Now,
Awesome.
coming up on episode number 10, it's how to use the 80-20-365 planner for 1 week, 4 weeks, and 90 days. And now it gets really, really exciting. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Okay, there's Adam Vincent Gilmer. And we urge you to go to the website 80-20-365.com. Order that daily planner so you can follow along. And it really makes life easy, and it's going to make your life even better. Coming up, episode number 10, how to use the planner, the 80-20-365 planner. For Adam Vincent Gilmer, I'm your host, Gene Velitis, and this is Living Your Life Well Planned.